I'm at the UC Santa Cruz Arboretum, and I'm about to go on a tour to see all the protea plants. They have one of the largest selections of proteas in the world other than South Africa. Here's a plaque at the start of the walk. Here's the actual beginning of the South African garden walk. Here's a beautiful leucospermum. It's called Leucospermum cordifolum Dawn's Red, and it is just gorgeous. Really beautiful. Let's get a little closer. This thing is super bright red. Really stunning plant. Pretty sure this is a Veldfire. Man, this is a huge plant. I mean, really big plant. Look at this thing. It's like 8 by 12 feet. Super beautiful flowers. Really healthy looking plant. Here's a mimetes coculatus, and it's one of my favorite plants. It looks like it's losing some leaves at the base. Tops. I'm not sure why it's not happy, but it is growing, but it looks somewhat marginal, I guess. But very cool plant. Wow, here's a much bigger specimen of mimetes. This plant's about 4 by 4 feet. Really beautiful. Again, it is losing a few leaves here and there. Not sure why that is, but it is definitely a very cool plant. This is the first really big plant of mimetes I've ever seen in my life. I think this is another mimetes. It might be the chrysanthus. I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but I think that's what it is. It's not as red-tipped as the other one. Wow, here's another Veldfire that is just enormous. Again, just stunningly beautiful plant. Blown away. And then there's another leucospermum that's slightly red below it. Here's a wide angle, super wide angle view of this Veldfire. Another leucospermum. Unfortunately, there's no name in front of it, but it is a little bit different looking plant. Beautiful, beautiful. Here's a Leucadendron specifolium called the natal spearleaf cone bush. Pretty cool looking plant. I think this is a Leucospermum reflexum. It's a much different looking plant than the other leucospermums. It's pretty large. Definitely beautiful. This one needs a close-up. Here's a close-up of the flower. This is Leucospermum belusi, or Gordon's Bay Pincushion. Never heard of this plant. Kind of looks like a mimetes a little bit. Here is Leucospermum yellowbird. I actually have one of these growing in my yard. Here's a Protea nerifolia. Again, a really, really large plant. It looks like these blooms are just ending here. Here's a really, really big Protea. Might be 15 feet tall. Maybe 20 feet tall. Thing is massive. Must be 20, 30 years old. Very beautiful. Looks like it bloomed a few months ago though. Here's a Leucadendron discolor. And interesting, it has no leaves. Not sure if this plant's dying, but there are no leaves on it. It's a very large plant. And right next to it is an amazingly beautiful leucospermum, a red one. Gorgeous. Here's a leucospermum high gold. And I actually have one of these growing in my yard. It hasn't bloomed yet. But man, this thing has some cool looking flowers. Really bright yellow. Looking forward to mine blooming, hopefully next year. Leucospermum red sunset. Very healthy looking plant. Really nice flowers on it. Leucadendron argentinum. Really stunning plant. I just bought one of them from this garden here. And wow, they are just beautiful. And I understand they're not that easy to grow, but I guess I'll find out in my yard. Here's a close-up of the leaves. Really, really beautiful. Here's a very large leucospermum. I mean, this thing is 25 feet wide, but you'll notice there's some browning of the leaves, lower leaves. It's losing a lot of its leaves, so it looks like it has some sort of illness. So these proteas definitely have problems occasionally, even in these perfect growing conditions here. Here's a panning shot of some of the South African garden. There's a beautiful leucospermum right there. Basically have these paths running through the garden, and you can just walk along and see all the plants. There's a really nice veldfire right there. Here's a Leucadendron argentinum tree again, but this thing is full-grown tree. Wow. Thing might be 40 feet tall. So as I said, I bought one of these. I had no idea it gets this big. Here's a little closer to the tree. Trunks. Pretty thick. Trunk might be a foot in diameter. This is Protea natinda. I've never seen one of these before. Really cool looking leaves. They're very large leaves. Again, it's already flowered, so I need to come back here in like January, I think, when these are all flowering. This is a red colored leucadendron that is again enormous. Wow. This plant is 30 feet wide, 20 feet tall. There's another plant behind it that's 40 feet tall. Another panning shot, some of the leucospermums and other plants here. There's a long road right there. Some more leucospermums. Here's a gnarled Banksia tree, not labeled, so I don't know what it is, but it's very cool looking. Here's another Banksia, already bloomed. Not sure what variety, but it looks like a spinulosa or birthday candles type Banksia. Here is a Tulip, speciosissima, native tulip. So I have 3 of these at my place. I got one in the ground already. It's a beautiful flower. Here's a close-up. This is a Banksia ericofolia. It's about 12 feet tall. Here's a close-up of the flower. Very beautiful. Here is a pretty cool Banksia. Unfortunately, I don't see a label. I don't know what it is, but the flowers are probably a foot tall. Super cool looking. Here's a close-up of the flower. This is called a grevelia superb, and man, there are a lot of bees. They're very happy to be on this plant. Pretty cool. This needs a close-up. Here's a close-up of the flower. Here is another Banksia that is really big, 20 feet tall, and these flowers are maybe almost 2 feet long. Very cool plant. Don't know what it is. Just want to show how beautiful this Banksia garden is. Here's a panning shot of this area here. It's just gorgeous. Banksias everywhere. Banksias and grevelia.
Baby, you know your loving drives me crazy. Do you even think about me, baby? Girl, I need to know how you feel. Or do you even love me, my baby? You know your loving drives me crazy. Do you even think about me, baby? Girl, I need to know how you feel. When I first placed my eyes on you, my heart fell at your feet. And with each passing day I knew our love was meant to be. Do you even love me, my baby? You know your loving drives me crazy. Do you even think about me, baby? Girl, I need to know how you feel. Or do you even love me, my baby? You know your loving drives me crazy. Do you even think about me, baby? Girl, I need to know how you feel. I've never felt like this before. With anyone else I need you. These feelings keep growing.